So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to either make a reflection of your animal or a shadow of your animal. So depending on whether your animal's in water, it may have a reflection or on a shiny surface, rather than if it has a solid ground underneath, it'll probably have a shadow beneath it. So first you have to determine where the light source is coming from. And in this picture, it's kind of all around. It's pretty luminous all throughout the picture. So I can just kind of play around with and imagine where my light source is coming from. So I think from behind would be a good spot because there's all that light coming from behind him. So that would mean his shadow would reflect forward here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take him and actually I'm going to copy and paste him to make him again. So to do that, I have to select him first. So I'm just going to grab this random selection tool. He's the only thing on the layer, so I don't have to carefully select him. So he's selected, and then I'm just going to copy him and paste him, or Control C, Control V. So now there's two of him. And you can see here, he's on his own separate layer. So if I were going to reflect him, and if he were in water, all I would do is Control T, and I could flip him and hit enter. And then I could just play with the opacity of the layer to make him kind of see-through. In this instance, though, I really want to make a shadow that's the same shape as his body. So what I can do here is I can reflect him, and maybe I might even Control T. Let's shrink him onto the page a bit more. Maybe I could rotate him a little so he's kind of coming at an angle. So you kind of have to use your artistic skills to kind of imagine where that shadow would be. So if this were a shadow, I'm going to hit enter. I'm on that layer. What I can do is I can go to edit and fill, and I can fill that shadow with black. So when it says here what I want to do, I'm going to choose black, and I'm going to click this preserve transparency. If I don't click the preserve transparency, it's not going to fill in the shape of the animal, it's just going to fill in the whole layer. So I have to make sure that I click this box and I've chosen black. So now you can see he's got a nice black shaped layer that's the same shape as the animal. Now he is above the animal right now, so his little feet are overlapping his, so I can just drag the layers around and change up their order. Now this shadow also looks a little bit sharp, and a shadow would generally be a little bit blurrier. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a filter to this shadow. So if I go to filter, I can go down to blur, and I'm just going to blur out the shadow a little. I'd like to use Gaussian blur, and it's hard to see it up here, but it'll show you a preview down here on the screen as well. So if I move this out and I just play with the radius, it will change the blurriness of this. So I can make it a little bit blurry, so it's not super sharp. Press OK, and now it's a little blurry. And now I'm going to blend it with the background by playing with the opacity. So now he has a shadow, so I might have to play around with like where this is placed. Depending on my light source, it would be located in different areas. I'm going to move him up. So now he's got a nice shadow there. So I just have to make sure I go on the layer that I want to target. So maybe something like that would be good for a shadow.